All right, we're doing a throwback today. I am reacting to some OG Fleccas Talks content. He goes out on the street, talks to Antifa, anti-Trump protesters in Laguna Beach, where we go out and film all the time. There's a handful of scenes that we absolutely have to unpack. Before we do, this video is sponsored by my friends over at Undertac Underwear. You guys, this is the official underwear sponsor for this channel. I wear these daily. They are amazing. More on them in a bit. So the video is called Antifa Gets Violent at Trump Protest in Laguna Beach. Fleccas Talks posted 5 years ago. Let's jump in.
Hey guys, it's Fleccas, and today we're here in Laguna Beach trying to drum circle the hate away. Let's see if it works. What are we protesting?
Well, there are a bunch of alt-right people over there, and which that's pretty much synonymous with neo-Nazis, and I don't like them in my backyard, so I'm here to just be like, hey, stop that.
A quick interpretation, alt-right, she's referring to Trump supporters gathering.
Very cool. Yeah, me too. How do you define alt-right? What is the alt-right?
It's this kind of like newer rightist ideology that tries to... I feel like I'm an idiot because I'm on the spot right now, but...
What's your number one issue with him? What do you hate about him the most?
The fact that it's 2017 and we're having to protest against Nazis.
I'm here.
The protests against Nazis. No, the media. The media told you to go do that. The media.
Standing up against racism and the Nazis.
I thought we got rid of them over like 50 to like 70 years ago, but they're coming back.
How many do you think there are in the U.S. right now?
Too many.
Too many. How many are there? I mean, the numbers on these are like impossible to track, but we do know that there's not many. There's not many KKK members. There's not many, I think KKK, well, the last time they were reporting on that, it was around like, 2,000? I think they've always said like 5,000 tops. That's in a country of 330 million people. You're going to have stupid people in a country of 330 million people. I'm pretty sure when it comes to Black Panthers, it's probably around the same number. If not, maybe even a little bit more. Just because it would be more socially acceptable today compared to like a KKK member or a Nazi. So these people are protesting something that most of us, I would say the overwhelming majority of us, have never, ever, ever seen before.
Numbers-wise, the Nazis do have a smaller contingency in the U.S. It's only about 500. Do you think giving them the attention is almost doing more bad than good?
Well, that's probably registered Nazis.
Did any Nazis show up on the other side?
What is a registered Nazi?
They've been walking around. I've seen a couple.
Actual Nazis?
Who knows what they are? All I know is they're talking race hate.
What are some of the things they're saying that makes you think they might be Nazis?
What makes them think that, they're talking race hate. And I didn't say they were Nazis. That's...
You just said that they were Nazis about 30 seconds ago in this video.
Just the atmosphere of today.
Very cool. What are some of the things you're hearing that are racist and inappropriate?
You name it, they said it.
In other words, I don't know. Something that's really interesting about this video is he's at this protest. First of all, I haven't seen a big protest like this in Laguna Beach in a long time. I don't know. Maybe it's good that it's not happening all the time because that's super annoying for people. But back 5 years ago, this was happening all the time. The media was telling you to get out in the streets. They were cranking the volume up to 11, getting people to lose their minds. And people that want to go do something, see the world is collapsing and Nazis are in charge, and that's their worldview, and they will get out in the streets. Politicians encouraging them to get out in the streets. This was so common. And this was, if you guys don't know who Fleccas Talks is, which I'm sure most people here have seen him, he was the one that really spearheaded the social media street interview for deep political conversations at these protests. You could probably point to a handful of other people in the 80s, 90s, whatever it may be. But this was something that was really trailblazing for its time. And I think most of us would probably agree about that. And back in the day, 5 years ago, these groups would take interviews and they would be excited to do the interview. And it's not that Fleccas is taking this stuff out of context. He's showing the responses, and a lot of the responses are just a bit silly. Now, fast forwarding to today, people are incredibly suspicious of doing interviews, and when it comes to Antifa, which is mentioned in this video, and they show up a little bit later, It is quite literally impossible to get an interview with them. They will absolutely not do an interview. But back 5 years ago, they 100% would. They just kept learning their lesson because they kept going on camera, not knowing what they were talking about, saying insane stuff, and people like Fleccas would post it on YouTube for everyone to enjoy.
Immigrants are what make our country great, and Trump's out here just trying to stop them from coming in and helping us.
What is up with the hat? All right, you guys, we got to take a few moments to talk about today's sponsor. I'm talking about Undertac, quite possibly the most comfortable pair of men's boxers ever created. Now, these aren't just normal boxers. They've been tested by the special forces and are made with Modal, which is like cotton on steroids. It's 50% more moisture wicking, naturally antimicrobial, and it's way softer. They come with a sturdy yet comfortable extra wide waistband, and the fly design is brilliantly straightforward. Undertac is durable, ultralight, fade resistant, and shrink resistant, and here's the best part, they're almost 30% less than the competition. As you guys know, I only promote products or services that I actually believe in. Undertac boxers are the only boxers that I wear. Go pick up a drawer full today. Undertac.com, that's undertac.com. Offer code KLUGE20 for 20% off site-wide. This is an amazing company. Go show them your support, and also you guys working with them keeps them around as a sponsor, which is obviously a great thing. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. By the way, Undertac does donate a portion of its profits to veteran-run organizations, which of course we love. Visit undertac.com, that's undertac.com. Offer code KLUGE20 for 20% off. I will put a link down in the description below. Let's get back into the video.
How many immigrants do you think we should be able to bring in a year?
I need to do my research to get an exact number for you, but in my opinion, we have a ton of land, especially like a lot in the Midwestern states.
Now they're living.
I need to do my research is a okay response. I often celebrate that response on my channel just because it's a good response. You don't have to pretend to know what you're talking about. But you are out here protesting in this case. You are out here protesting, and that is the argument that you're making. So why are you making the argument if you don't really know what you're talking about?
Comfortably and pointing their finger at new immigrants and saying, go home. Well, it's hypocritical. They need to remember where their ancestors came from.
Very cool. How many immigrants do you think we should be bringing in a year?
As many as need to come. I don't.
That is what's so wild about this right here. Again, video posted 5 years ago. That response right there was a shocking response by those standards during that time. And it sounds like I'm talking about 40 years ago, but I'm not. 5 years ago, that was a shocking response. That's why Fleccas zooms in on that response, because that had shock value. Today, anybody hears that and just thinks, yep, that's what they think. Because that viewpoint, although it was extreme at the time, has become completely mainstream. How interesting is that? I wouldn't have even heard that and necessarily thought, okay, wow, this is major shock value. Now, it's still crazy. But does it have as much shock value today as it did 5 years ago? Absolutely not. That is incredibly, incredibly interesting. One more thing about this clip. The media was incredibly effective, and still is today, about conflating the two things. Legal immigration and illegal immigration. Most of these people, you can tell by their response that they don't really understand the difference between the two. And of course, Trump was never saying no more legal immigration, isolationist state. That was not his policy. That is a lie if people are saying that. And I still go out and talk to people today, and that's still a problem today, is they don't understand the difference between legal and illegal immigration. Legal immigration, we've always given out around, the number hovers around 1 million green cards a year or so. Illegal immigration is obviously a different story. You need to know who and what is coming across your borders into your country, into your communities.
Listen, everyone said, oh, yeah, you can't listen to CNN no more. You can't listen to the news anymore because it's all fake. Bull crap. It wasn't fake before, so why is it fake now?
The Russia story has kind of died down on those sites.
Only because we're on the racism thing now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It died down, therefore they switched gears to continue getting clicks. The outrage clicks, to continue getting clicks. That's phenomenal scene right there where he totally proves his point, and Fleccas says, yeah, exactly. All right, so this video was taken around the time of Charlottesville, so there's a bit of that in this video. Let's move on.
Sad that people are using cars as a weapon in terrorism, and it's just kind of, just speaks to the weakness of that person who is committing that violent offense.
Absolutely it does. You're right.
That they need to hide in a vehicle and hurt large groups of people. It's just they're cowards, basically.
100%. And they go for easy targets. They go for easy targets with minimal risk. These psychopathic killers.
Totally agree. Do you think radical Islam had anything to do with Barcelona?
I'm really here to talk about the problems in this country. I don't really want to speak about Europe.
What did you think about the situation in Barcelona, the most recent attack with the car driving into the people, similar to Charlottesville?
Honestly, I haven't watched the news. I didn't know about that.
I don't really think I can say anything about that because I'm not as well informed on the situation with Barcelona, so I don't want to talk out my ass.
The attack.
That is, first of all, interesting question. And I'll dig into why in just a minute, but I did want to respond saying, people saying, I don't know, I need to do more research. Again, that's a great response. That's an okay response. And we'll give that a pass. That is absolutely a pass.
Going on, especially in Europe, with trucks and things like that, running into people. That maybe was motivation by this kid who ran over those people in Charlottesville.
Do you think it was connected to radical Islam at all?
The Charlottesville?
No, the Barcelona attack.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not educated enough on it.
Okay, again, fine, but you one absolutely inspired by the Charlottesville attack. No, Barcelona was inspired by radical Islam, but these are different ideologies of hatred that are inspiring some of these people to do these things. Of course, mostly they're just totally out of their minds, crazy people, and that didn't happen in the United States. But it is interesting. I will point out, it is interesting that they have all this knowledge about what the media wants them to be focusing on. They know every little bit of it because the media that they consume shows every aspect, every little detail, because it's politically advantageous. They have every incentive, and their audience keeps clicking on it. When it comes to attacks like that are inspired by maybe a different ideology, it does show that they know close to nothing about that. Now, this was big at the time. So for more context, what happened in Barcelona, that was very big at the time. And it was still very newsworthy. It wasn't some obscure story that happened out of the country. So it is interesting to show how little they knew about that, but how much they knew about Charlottesville, when both stories were, of course, massive. We have a different example today that I could probably use for this if we were to do that question today, comparing stuff. And it's okay to compare stuff when it comes to people's knowledge of specific topics, and hopefully I'm saying this right, I might not be, but the Waukesha parade, with the attacker being that guy in the red SUV that went to the parade, inspired by ideologies that hated white people, all of this stuff. He also had a bunch of crazy political ideologies, rammed through the parade, killing, I believe, minimum 6 people, and then injuring dozens more. These people that depending on who you're talking to on the street, what's really interesting is people still talk to me about Charlottesville. Going out in the street today, people will still bring up Charlottesville today. But I can pretty much guarantee you that they won't be talking about Waukesha. There was more damage done in that. It was a bigger deal, just by sheer numbers. Maybe it was in the media for about a week or so, and then they totally stopped focusing on it. And they'll get away with saying, yeah, we released little stories here and there, but nothing compared to what happened at Charlottesville. That was being talked about for years. It was a top topic for years. So people really know every single detail about that, but something that's less politically convenient for their argument, they totally forget about. All right, next clip.
What's the way to defeat the Nazis in the U.S.?
Violence. Trotsky said it best. Find your Nazis, beat them, take them of their Nazi paraphernalia, and then leave them alive, hurting and bleeding in their cowardice.
Same way we dealt with them in World War II. Kill them. There's no other way.
I'm seriously suspicious of who they believe Nazis are in this country. I highly doubt they're properly identifying Nazis when they're saying what they're saying right there.
Excuse me. Are you racist?
No.
Why are they saying racist go home?
Because this flag from Rhodesia.
What's your name?
So they're yelling at us because Rhodesia was a country in Africa. It was basically lumped in with South Africa. And so what happened was when Mugabe came into power in I think it was the early 90s, basically he started kicking everyone out that was white. Basically, he was actually being racist. He was killing a bunch of the white farmers. So my family's from there. So my grandfather was killed.
So he's not racist. Racists go home. I mean, you can see the strategies that are still in place today. Oh gosh, it was so easy to get content back then. You just have to show up and ask some pretty basic questions. I'm not trying to take away from what Fleccas was doing at this time, because this was obviously amazing. But look at what people delivered when you would just show up and ask some questions. You have everyone talking to you. Chaos breaks out left and right. Just absolutely. And then this lady with her battle cry right here. That was great.
I'm a libertarian communist. I don't believe in authoritarianism.
I'm a full-born Lenin communist.
He killed, dude.
On my arm.
He killed a lot of people. A lot of people died from him.
Okay, how many people died from capitalism?
How many?
Exactly.
I mean, you're talking about minimum 10 million people died under Lenin. And also, what on earth, the other guy, this guy right here, what on earth is a libertarian communist?
We have yet to have a perfect communist state. It hasn't happened yet. That doesn't mean we shouldn't push for it. Have you watched Star Trek? Star Trek is a communist utopia. That's what happens when communism wins.
All right, guys.
Wow. Yep. Well, hey, we could have Star Trek. How amazing is that? You guys, let me know what you thought about this video down in the comment section below. If you'd like to check out the full video, I'll put a link to the full video down in the comment section below as well, to this OG Fleccas video. I don't really know how this video is going to perform. I just kind of wanted to do a throwback video and maybe make some comparisons to today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time I post. And I will catch you guys in the next video.